everybody, welcome to my channel. Complete U.S. shutdown is on the table and warns the crisis could last 2 months. Now, I think most of us already have heard that it could last a few months, okay? We'll see. White House coronavirus expert Dr. Anthony Fauci said on Friday morning that the current state of crisis in the U.S. would last for 2 months and that it's all on the table in terms of how much more severe things may become. In a series of interviews with Good Morning America and CBS this morning, he gave a bleak assessment what is still to come. It's certainly going to get worse before it gets better. There's no doubt we have not yet peaked, he said. I say that's in God's hands. Maybe not. Asked directly if America was heading towards a complete shutdown like China and Italy, he would not rule it out. I'm not sure we're going to get to that. I think that would be really rather dramatic, but I can tell you that all things are on the table. We just have to respond as things evolve over the weeks and the days and the weeks. Guys, as I said before, do not allow the government to make you do things. Do this voluntarily. Isolate yourself. First, stay away. We can handle it. Let's come in as a group and for each other's wellness and good. If you can stay home, stay home. Limit your gathering and wash your hands and wipe everything off and just do the right thing. There has been a dramatic shift in tone from the government in the last several days. At the start of the week, the president was advising Americans not to panic and even said the virus would go away. He then shut the border to the Europeans and said on Thursday that even U.S. citizens who test positive for the virus would not be allowed to come home. The doctor's prediction was that there will be at least another several weeks of the current mode of crisis, but it could last up to 2 months. Again, you don't know. That's just looking at what could happen, okay? Let's not panic yet, okay? Just prepare. Let's see here. What is all this? There are 2,200 people in the U.S. with coronavirus and 50 died as a result. He promised that testing was going to be more available, and he did not give specifics in where or how. I heard about the drive-up, where you drive up and they give you a test right there so you don't have to get in your car. I'm down for that. I think it's a great idea. In California, doctors have been receiving tests from the CDC that are missing crucial components. Come on, you guys. There has been a hurry to approve privately developed tests for the virus and get them to the public. It remains to be seen, though, when anyone in America who wants will be able to get a test. I know now that before you even go to the doctor, you have to call in first. Until then, the country is being told to be vigilant about social distancing and staying away from the vulnerable. Please do this. President Trump, who has come into contact with several dignitaries and politicians with the virus, has not yet been tested for it, according to the White House, which I find weird. But let's see. Let me skip through some of this. There's some interviews. I've been through this. We've seen this. I also heard not to visit nursing homes for like a month, which if you have a loved one in there, it's sad, but we do have the telephone, and it's better for them. Sorry, I'm reading. This is talking about how California got those kits, and they were not completed. Obviously, AIDS and HIV was a very disruption for beginning a very selected demographic group in the country, even though there was a lot of general fear. With regard to disruption of everyday life, we have not seen this before, or that before, and we've not had this kind of situation before. We've had pandemics, H1N1, swine flu, it was influenza. We were familiar with that what influenza does. Familiar with its seasonal capability. Right now, there are a lot of unknowns, and I think that's what's frightening people, and I agree. The doctor told Congress on Thursday the healthcare system was failing, and there were not enough tests to go around to get things done fast enough. On Friday, he was more optimistic and said very soon there will be a wider scope of testing, but did not give specifics where and when. One of the largest problems that so many people are not yet showing symptoms are continuing to spread the virus without knowing it. That's why don't we act as if we have it in a way, like, quarantine, let's put those gloves on. If you do have it, put a freaking mask on. And because of the lack of tests, only those who show symptoms can be tested. And that will change soon. Let's look ahead and believe that we're hearing at the task force that we're now getting into that phase where we'll be able to really scale it up a lot. I think in the next week or so, we're going to see an acceleration of availability of tests. So hang in there, guys. Hopefully it'll be relatively soon. It's not going to happen all tomorrow or the next day, but it's going to be soon. Look at all the coronavirus news. Too many crickets. He urged the president to get tested. Absolutely, get tested. I agree. Trump and President Jair Bolsonaro had dinner on March 7th, a day after his key aides tested positive for the virus. Bolsonaro is also waiting for his results of the test. Trump has not had one, said he's probably going to get one. I heard that on the speech. Doctor said he would have had the test. I leave that to the president's White House physician, who's extremely competent. So, anyway, depends on the circumstances. Okay, that's what Donald Trump said. And then also Ivanka, who was also at the dinner on March 7th, said she had another connection to the virus 2 days earlier. On March 5th, she stood shoulder to shoulder with an Australian government minister who is now tested positive. Get tested, people. If you can. I know we can't right now as laymen, but somebody will be able to get tested. They declared the state of emergency and banning gatherings of 500 people or more in the city. Any business that chooses to remain open whose capacity is less than that has been told to operate at no more than 50% occupancy. Now, my state's in a state of emergency, so I wonder if our Walmarts are going to be locked down. I don't know. Worried about people's livelihoods. Trump said Thursday afternoon that any Americans who are overseas and to test positive for coronavirus will not be allowed back into the country. Okay, that's new. I didn't hear that. There's a grave concern over what's being done, though, to test people when they get back to the U.S. Okay. And then they talk about the Federal Reserve and all the bad things that are going on financially. I don't want to think about that right now. I don't even want to think about it because I know it's bad. The Bible does warn of this in the last days, guys, that they want to do away with currency to have a one world order. And they're starting to try to think about getting rid of the dollar bill right now and money because of this virus. That makes me nervous. I'm not going to lie. All right, guys, have a great day.